Welcome back to Robot My Life. Well, I'm excited. We have a new robot vacuum and mop from HOBOT. Now, it's been a couple of years since HOBOT had released the HOBOT LEGEE D8. And if you're not familiar, the HOBOT LEGEE D8 is a fantastic product. It cleans exceptionally well, it is self-washing, and it's economical on price. But I think the thing that people love most about the HOBOT products, they are reliable and they work exceptionally well. In fact, they're one of the few robotic products that really work as advertised. So when you have such a great product, how do you make something better? And this has been some of the challenge for HOBOT. You've had such a great product, then what are the next steps? How do you make it better than the last product? And I think you'll agree with me today, they've achieved this. Now, here's the cool thing. If you own a HOBOT LEGEE D8 and wash station, you don't have to buy a new wash station and a new robot. You can buy just the robot and it will connect with your current wash station. This is better for the environment and it saves you money. And it's one of the first times I've actually seen a manufacturer think outside the box around, hey, we have a product that works well, but how can we upgrade the main product so we get better cleaning and we still get a wash station that works exceptionally well without the customer having to spend more money? This is a great thing for anyone that already owns a HOBOT LEGEE D8. Well, let's get into it. Now, it is the Q10 Pro. The box will be a little bit different because I get the first one in the country that generally uses the first box they have, which is the Q10, which we don't bring into Australia. Because the Q10 Pro, a bit confusing in my view. It has less features, looks kind of the same, not really where our market's at. We wanted you to get the best, and this is the best. So let's pull it out and have a look. All right. That plastic there for a moment. So you get the robot in the box, and I know what you're thinking, it's round. Why is it round? We'll walk through this in a moment. And I'm just going to connect one of the sweeping brushes to the robot. Now, like all sort of HOBOT series, it's very easy to snap on and off things like your sweeping brush. And we're going to talk extensively today around the sweeping brush. Now, inside your box, if you're not familiar, you get your instruction manual, you'll get your cleaning pads here for the back of the mopping system, you'll get a spare HEPA filter, and you'll also get a couple of the sweeping brushes that do get in the corners. And we'll also have here a couple of replacement heads for your spray system on the mop. So, there's always a lot of products in the market, and people are always wondering, you know, what's the difference between the HOBOT and other brands on the market? Well, what I really like about HOBOT is they are unique. They really started from robot window cleaners, they moved into dedicated mopping systems, then moved into a combined system, where other manufacturers started with robot vacuums and combined a mopping system. And if you are hunting in the market for a really good vacuum and mop, have a really good look underneath. It's very different. So what it shares in common with the D8 system, you have the hair suction port. So any large debris get sucked up through here before they get to here. And this is really important because if anything large gets sucked up through here, it means my vacuuming efficiency is a lot higher here because then I've really only got finer particles that go up through here. Through here, you're going to capture around 90% hair, which means you have less things to clean out of your brush roller. And this is a failure for most other systems. They don't have this, they just have this. So you've got everything going through one port. So really, they're not sucking at the advertised power. Now here's the big upgrade here. The suction power is different. We're looking at 7,000 PA suction, so a lot stronger. And realistically, the D8 was more than capable of vacuuming and sucking up different particles, especially because of the dual system, but they've increased the PA suction on the Q10 Pro. Now, what it shares in common again with the D8 is you have your spray system here. You have 4 spray jets that runs on an independent motor. And this is a key thing again. Other brands you may not be aware will have a drip system that sits behind and it's gravity fed, rather than having a dedicated motor that's actually controlling the dispersion of solution onto your floor. Why this is important? If you have hybrid flooring, you don't want lots of water going in between the cracks and settling, because over time your floorboards will swell. Here you can dictate how much dispersion from a customized setting, or you've got 8 settings on the app that you can dictate. And a little upgrade that I'll talk about is they've got a new AI system built into this. Of course, everyone's got AI now, right? It's the buzzword. But what it does is it can recognize when there's a stain or something stubborn and release more solution to be able to clean that stain, meaning that it's smarter than ever to be able to clean your floors automatically. Then at the back here, we have the mopping system. And there is a little bit difference. It looks similar, but it is different. Applying 600 grams of downward force, so it's pushing into the ground. And here at the back, it will now move by 10 mil, so a centimeter if you will, retracting back when it goes over carpet. And here it is scrubbing at up to 1,300 times a minute. Now, it may not look too different underneath except for round, which we'll discuss in a moment, but it also has some other key features that the previous model did not have. Carpet recognition, it can work on dark carpet and recognize dark carpet, so that's a real win. Whereas dark carpet previously could affect the robot and mean it may not be able to work on really sort of dark fibers. This one can, so it's not an issue. We have the rubberized caterpillar track system. Again, capable of climbing up to about 2 centimeters. So we've got a really good range here, being able to climb up and things, and more importantly, a really good range here where it's able to retract back and not necessarily drag a wet mop across your carpet. Now, so there's some of the cool little features. You go, hey, if you own one of these, you know what I'm talking about. You go, that's a really good upgrade. I'm happy with that. Now, if you're not familiar with these particular models and you're wondering about, hey, maintenance, cleaning, all that sort of gear, you have a pin that comes with it inside the little bag here, as you'll see just there. And that's used to unclog any of your jets if they do get clogged. Less likely in our country because our water quality is pretty good. But again, if it does happen, you've got a tool. Worst case, you can replace the heads. If you want to clean your brush, it's quite easy. You see 2 clips here. I just unclip the clips here, like so. And I can actually pull out my brush. Quite easy. And there is, like the previous model, a tool. So I flip over and I lift up my lid. I have a tool on the inside here. And that tool is quite useful for cleaning. So I pop it out. I have a little blade that sits in here and a brush. The blade then it does get caught in that brush roller. I come through and I just cut off any of the things that might have got wrapped around there. Like I said, 90% will get sucked up anyway through the hair suction port, but it does mean occasionally you'll get something that's caught there. Now, unique features. I've gone through some, but that's not what's really unique. I think this is the thing you're going to love. So, technology has changed a lot. You can see the massive sensor at the front here on this. Technology has changed a lot. So, historically, round robots weren't great getting into corners, right? Because the algorithms, the way they'll program, kind of work in straight lines. Okay, so I mean, if it's round, not really orientated great for the corner. Generally speaking, the sweeping brush was kind of fixed in location. So previously we had a D shape with the Legee D8 because it would come in flat to a corner, turn, meaning the brush could flick out any sort of debris from the corner towards the suction port. Well, HOBOT has been thinking about corners because it cleans exceptionally well. Sometimes corners were not efficient as they should be, nor are they with any brand, generally speaking. Well, this is where the big difference is. They have developed what they call the corner killer, okay? And you may be able to see here on a side profile that this actually comes out. It's a mechanical arm. So this will actually come out and get right into the corner. And being round, it's now the algorithm that it's actually able to rotate round and get right in to make sure that it's cleaning more efficiently and effective than ever. And this is a brilliant upgrade because you've had great suction power, great mopping power, great cleaning ability, great reliability. Corners not always perfect. Now you've got this new development, which means it gets right in the corners, unlike any other robot vacuum before. Now, that in itself, I think, is a massive change and you're going to love it. It does an exceptional job, as you'll see shortly when I show you some of its cleaning abilities. Here, bump sensor still built in, and if you're not familiar, it does have the Eco Compactor still built into it. So a 5 times Eco Compactor, and we're here, we just pull it out. These things are massively deceptive. If anyone owns one, they know exactly what I mean. This holds so much gunk. You basically have a mechanical arm that squashes down any of the dust and dirt, it compacts it, and really, really tight. It's more efficient use, and it also helps scrape the internal filter, which means it maintains better suction than other brands. If you need to clean your HEPA filter, you can by popping it off, washing it out, and drying it and putting it back on. And again, this was part of the stepping stone for HOBOT wanting to focus on something more eco-friendly than throwing out dust bags. Well, that is all the major aspects of the new Q10 Pro. It is a fantastic device. It's a brilliant upgrade. It cleans better than ever. And it means that if you're a Legee D8 owner, you can upgrade in a cost-effective manner. If you're new to robot vacuums, you've probably just discovered one of the best value for money robot vacuums and mops on the market that can now clean corners exceptionally well as your floorboards and your carpets. Well, that's enough of talking about the features. Let's show you how well the Legee Q10 Pro can work for you at home. So I'm now going to demonstrate how well the new HOBOT Legee Q10 Pro cleans. Now, if you are a D8 user, I'm really sorry. They have changed some of the terminology. My favorite cleaning mode was deep cleaning mode. For whatever reason, they've removed that from the app. But don't despair, there is a power suction mode, which will give you maximum vacuum ability with maximum mopping efficiency. So essentially the same as the deep cleaning mode. They've just renamed it. Again, not sure why. I find it a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. But what we really care about is how well it cleans. How well does the new suction power suck up dirt and grime? How well does the corner killer get into the corners? Well, behind me, we've got some polished wooden floors that have some leaves and dirt. We're going to film as close as we can and hopefully give you a really good understanding of how well the new HOBOT Legee Q10 Pro cleans. All right, so we've done one cycle. You can hear the Legee Q10 Pro in the background cleaning itself. And I didn't mention before, but what I've done is I've mapped out a small area and I've segmented it, no different to what you could do at home, and cleaned one area. So let's have a look and see how well that power suction mode, along with really strong mopping ability, clean this area. And check that out. Brilliant clean, as we would expect from a HOBOT robot vacuum and mop. Q10 Pro is absolutely brilliant. Very noticeable, the stronger suction power. So in a moment, I'm going to clean a small tiled area so you can see its ability on tiles, and I'll use a different mode. Now, if you're asking me, what is the difference? Well, I can tell you now, the suction power. It's a lot stronger. You can tell, you can hear it. And the corner killer is really great with those multiple gears, the arm coming out. The other thing I noticed is that the sensors are a lot better. It kind of chases dirt, you see something flick or get it. So that is a real enhancement compared to the D8. But its cleaning ability is exceptional. And I'm also going to clean a carpeted area with darker carpet, so you get to see how that performs as well. We're now going to test the LEGEE Q10 Pro in a small laundry. A real world environment. You've got doorstops, dog bowls. How well does it work? It will work from outside in. You be the judge and take note of its navigation, how it moves. I think you'd be suitably impressed and would agree that this is a fantastic robot vacuum and mop. So now we're going to test the HOBOT LEGEE Q10 Pro on carpet. And we're going to be a challenging area. We've got two rugs that are aesthetically placed, a dark one and a light color. How well will it climb up? And we've also got a coffee table and some chairs with rounded legs. How well will it navigate? So what we're trying to find out is how well will it clean and how well will it navigate obstacles around your home? Well, let's put it in a dry cleaning mode and see how well it works. It has just finished cleaning, and what an exceptional video. I've been doing this for a number of years, and look, often you could place a robot vacuum in a predetermined environment, let's call it a rectangle, if you will, and you know that it will have a certain behavior. This is a lot more raw and real, and this is what I really like about what we've just filmed. It's in an environment where there are a lot of natural obstacles that would exist in most homes. We've got some decorative rugs. We've got, which I missed, a rug sort of folded up in the corner. So that is something that would probably happen over time in your own home. We've got coffee tables, chairs, and obstacles. And it performed exceptionally well. In fact, I think it really demonstrates how smart the new HOBOT LEGEE Q10 Pro is. And you'll see it, we haven't edited out. There are areas where, there's cables and the bits and pieces, and it's kind of, hang on a minute, I'm a bit confused here, and I'm going to think about it with my AI, and I'm going to move out and redirect myself, which historically has been an issue for most robot vacuums. They'll get caught stuck, you have to move them, you get an alert. So this is far smarter than the HOBOT LEGEE D8 ever was, and far smarter than many other robot vacuums on the market. Even little things that exist in real homes, minimal gap between some cabinetry and a rug, well, normally they get stuck. No, it can move along and climb up. We even looked at the distance of the actual mopping pad to the surface, and I could put my finger under there and there's enough clearance so it wasn't dragging a wet mop across my carpet. And most importantly for any HOBOT LEGEE owners, we've got dark carpet here being vacuumed, not an issue whatsoever. So navigation-wise, absolutely brilliant. I'm exceptionally impressed, if you can't tell already. Now, but how well did it clean? So this is a brand new robot. We're going to open it up and have a look. What did it actually collect? Bearing in mind, this area was vacuumed probably 3 or 4 days ago. So was there really much to pick up? Does the 7000 PA suction with 2 suction ports really get in and pick up more? Or is it really just a bit of a surface level clean? Well, let's have a look. So we're going to open it up. And here we have our Eco Compactor. Always a little bit hard with one hand. Always remember to release on the clip here. Oh, wow. Check that out. That is insane. What a great vacuum. At the risk of tipping it back over my clean carpet, let's check this out. Wow, look at that. That is absolutely gobsmacking. Now, if you're not familiar with the LEGEE D8, this is what I was discussing earlier. We have the mechanical arm here that squashes it all. And what I'm going to do is, at risk of making my carpet dirty, I'd like you to really see, put this here, I want you to see how much it actually, look at that. How is that? Absolutely fantastic. The hardest thing when bringing a new product to market is really demonstrating how well and how effective it works. And we're testing another environment, a different surface level with tiles. You'll see it easily can drive in. It's always a concern of most people. You've got a lip. Will it be able to get over that lip? It can climb up to 2 centimeters. That's not an issue. How well does it clean? Well, check out it operating in this bathroom. Take note of it navigating around the toilet, how it's going underneath cabinetry. These are the things you really want to know when you're looking at buying a robot vacuum. What is its navigation like? Anyone can set up an area that has no obstacles. What I've really tried to do through this really brief introduction to the LEGEE Q10 Pro is show you how it works in a real world environment. So check it out, another area it's cleaning, and you be the judge on how well you think it operates and cleans. Well, what's the conclusion? How well does it really work? You know, I always get asked, there's so many different brands, so much confusion today. How well does this really work? And I'll be honest, most brands work pretty well these days. Most good brands bring a product to market, they'll work really well for you. But often they're really overpriced. And what I love about the HOBOT range, it is unique. They're different. If I turn upside down other major brands and look at them, the screws are the same as other Chinese manufacturers because they share often the same manufacturer for parts. Remember, HOBOT is a Taiwanese brand. They really focus on innovation and being different. And this is the thing I love about HOBOT, is that when I flip it upside down and compare it, you can immediately see the quality difference. Little things like the sweeping brush is not a screw. It's been injected molded to make it easier to take on and off. The brush rollers are thicker. They sit closer to the surface. It's all these little things that mean it actually cleans better. And the thing you may not be aware of is their quality control is superior. I've been to so many manufacturers over the years. They often spot check. But HOBOT checks every single leggie before it goes in the box for every function. It's insane. But it means you get a better quality product. So this product cleans as you would expect it to clean. It cleans exceptionally well. It's smarter than the D8. And it's exceptional value for money. The sort of tech on this and cleaning ability, you would normally pay over $2,000. You've got a product here that is well under that. It's exceptional bang for buck, and I think you'll be blown away when you have this cleaning your home on a daily basis.